If you watched any of the presidential debates, you may have thought that both parties were going to bring back manufacturing jobs to the U.S., and that would solve all our employment problems. That would be the ticket to rebuilding our middle class. Well, let's think about this. Will manufacturing jobs get our economy going again? Do I want manufacturing jobs for myself or my kids? Do we really need to get our manufacturing jobs back? These are tough questions. It's been the hard work of the American workforce that has built this nation. In order to answer these questions, we need to understand some history. Before World War II, the United States was predominantly self-sufficient. We had all the natural resources to make what we needed, as well as the capability to feed our nation. It wasn't until after World War II, with the advances in transportation, both air and sea, as well as trying to rebuild Japan, that we started to import goods made less expensively from abroad. The 1950s and 60s in the U.S. was characterized as the golden age of America. We emerged from World War II as the wealthiest nation in the world. In 1950s America, you could get a manufacturing job with as little as a high school education. All you needed was a strong work ethic, and you would have employment that would put you on a path to a middle-class American lifestyle. You could buy a house, an American car, put your kids through college, even take a paid vacation, and then retire. You had benefits for life. You were living the American dream. In fact, 32% of all American jobs at the time were in manufacturing. In 1950, manufacturing jobs totaled 14.7 million. By 1978, it had risen to a high of 19.3 million before beginning a decline. Today, even with the population growth doubling since 1950, there are only 11.8 million manufacturing jobs, or 9% of the total employment. Why has this happened? What led to this decline? In the late 1970s and 80s, one important factor is a network of international fiber optic lines which cross the globe, setting the stage for fast and efficient communications. Combine that with trade treaties such as the North American Free Trade Agreement, the World Trade Organization, and the suspension of the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, core manufacturing functions moved to lower wage countries. So while 1970s manufacturing was at a peak for jobs, other business concepts were now being considered as well. The business trend of the day was to diversify, and by doing so, many companies started outsourcing some of their jobs in order to concentrate on their core competencies. By the time the 1980s rolled around, outsourcing was a way to increase profits by reducing headcount as well. Offshoring, as it is called, became attractive to business because of lower cost and faster production due to communication, technology, reduced legal expense, and a loyal, ready, and cheap foreign workforce. Even though the American manufacturing output per employee has grown steadily since the early 1900s, the overall production cost was cheaper in foreign countries, even with the added cost of shipping back to the U.S. consumer. The textile industry, followed by much of the furniture industry, moved abroad. This is all part of a 30-year decline in U.S. manufacturing jobs. This trend is now changing and signals a new era for manufacturing in America. Hourly labor rates are going up in foreign countries. In China alone, one of the largest suppliers of manufactured goods had a 19% wage hike per year since 2005, compared to 4% in the U.S. Fuel costs are going up, impacting not only manufacturing itself, but also transatlantic shipping. The entire supply chain is now in question due to many rising costs. Although China accounted for 19.8% of global manufacturing value in 2010, the U.S. still accounted for 19.4%, a share that's only declined slightly over the past 3 decades, even while jobs have declined. We were able to achieve this with fewer workers while maintaining higher output. How were we able to do this? U.S. manufacturers rely on technology, as well as improvements in efficiency, partially through process and robotics. Today, high levels of skills in programming and maintaining machines characterize a good manufacturing job. While these are high-paying jobs, they leave a tremendous amount of people behind. Many have moved to service-related jobs, which many times pay less. This also results in a gap of skilled workers in an overall America that is already struggling to be competitive in a global economy. Many more workers could stand to gain from reshoring if properly prepared. In a 2012 Forbes survey, 40% of U.S. companies had won new manufacturing business which had previously been offshored. New technology and internet-based manufacturing is allowing industry to produce nearer to customers at an overall lower cost. This means U.S. jobs. Life expectancy of products is shrinking, thus quick turnarounds also require production near customers. A recent trend in U.S. consumer preferences for customized products and experiences do not lend themselves well to producing on the other side of the world. Another benefit of manufacturing locally is that it creates additional business to support it, as well as positive spillovers from innovation. All these factors combined will contribute to creating jobs in the U.S. and make reshoring more attractive to business. The numbers now suggest this. Since 2009, there has been a growth in manufacturing of 475,000 jobs. In the first 4 months of 2012 alone, the U.S. manufacturing sector added 139,000 jobs. A benefit to more manufacturing jobs is that an additional 1.6 jobs in related fields are created, adding to the overall growth in consumer demand. However, with over 3 decades of declining manufacturing, there are now generations of Americans that have not retooled their skills, which are needed to fill the reshored jobs that are anticipated. A 2011 report noted 5% of manufacturing jobs were not filled due to insufficient skills. In the next 3 to 5 years, it's anticipated that there will be 45% decline in machinists, operators, craft workers, distributors, and technicians due to retirement. From smartphones to smart cars, the smart device and the manufacturing jobs that go with these items are here to stay. However, they require a smarter and skilled workforce. Life may have been simpler in the 1950s, with secure jobs and the growth of the middle class, with little skills needed. Today, there are signs of a healthy growth occurring for manufacturing jobs that have the potential to raise the middle class. Having and preparing a talented workforce will be the greatest challenge moving forward. America has always rose to the challenges it's encountered. We believe the same drive, creativity, innovation, and imagination that's fueled our economy in the past will help us compete in the future. Manufacturing may never return to what it was, but it's still an important role for our country's future.